So it is Wednesday, July 15th, I believe, and I do have a confession to make. I'm really bad at remembering to turn the camera on and talk about the stuff that we're seeing. So I didn't film anything in Port Jefferson yesterday. Partly it's I'm not doing this for fame and fortune and glory. It's for fun. It's for family and friends and whoever else happens upon it. So it's not top of mind to, feed the algorithm, but it's also that, I'm used to enjoying things in the moment, and I take photos and then I go enjoy the next thing. So I want to try to do better because I think these are fun to do and hopefully they're fun to watch. So if you have suggestions of what types of things you want to be sure we capture along the way, I wouldn't mind hearing that, some constructive criticism. So to set the stage for today, we are leaving Port Jefferson. I'll show you a little bit as we head out. We've just released the mooring. We're getting eventually, Dad has a friend in Mattituck, but that is a long way from here on a slow boat, not derogatory. So there's a little place to hole up down, I think it's Mattituck Creek, Mattituck Inlet, which is a little creek and a little town, and so we're hoping to get there today, about 28 miles. But yeah, this is just for fun and just trying to strike the balance between being present in the moment and making these little videos so that folks back home know what we're up to. So let me show you a little bit of Port Jeff as we leave. Turn this around. So back here you can see the ferry dock. There's a ferry loading. There's a lot of ferries here. I've not looked at the route, but it must be a major commuter way because it's busy all the time. And I have some footage of the ferry leaving, which is interesting. Of course, I'm very familiar with Washington State ferries, and this one is a very different model. So that's interesting to me anyway. And over here we have this sort of boatyard. The power plant. It strikes me that we might, in fact, be in America. Hard to say. Perhaps we'll find some other clues along the way. And then as we come out here to the rest of the harbor, there's some interesting boats up here. So last night, a couple of these guys came in. And I suspect they were involved in the Tall Ships event for the 4th of July, which happened in New York City just before we arrived there. And we were worried it would interfere with our plans, but they were actually all gone before we got there. But these look pretty cool. So I just want to give you a glimpse of those guys. See if we can zoom in on them at all. Pretty incredible. So yeah, there's the entrance / exit. And Dad is hoping there'll be a little sailing today. So if we get that going, I will remember to let you know. Just to get some close up of this gorgeous boat. I've not looked up the name, but I'll try to find out. It's just beautiful. There's a lot of traffic this morning, actually. So here's these guys. There's another sailboat in front of them. Catamaran going out the same time as us. And then it's behind that ship there, but there is a ferry coming in as well. So just things to watch out for while we're all headed towards a narrow passage. Yeah, it's a beautiful day. It is forecast to be in the upper 90s, so I come from a place where it does not get that hot and never gets very humid, so my delicate constitution requires that I, at least until I acclimate, which who knows if that'll happen. I've been drinking way too much water, and trying to stay out of, or stay covered, stay out of the sun. But yeah, living in Seattle, it's a stereotype, but I have gotten, my body is not used to heat or humidity at all, so it takes its toll pretty quickly. So hence me always wearing a hat and always covering up. That's why I'm not, I like hats, but you know, it's not intended as a fashion statement. So there's that ferry coming in. But yeah, I think we're all gonna make it this time. I'll see you out there. So Dad's happy. Dad, why are you happy?
I'm happy because we're sailing.
We're sailing!
I'm sailing! I'm sailing! I'm sailing!
We're doing all right, almost 4 knots here. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
We just have the head sail out.
So what was the decision there?
As far as getting the sail out?
No, for having the head sail out.
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's easier sail to manage, and we're going to have some gusty winds, so it's a lot easier to furl this sail than it is the main sail. You can do it from the cockpit instead of having to go up to the mast and do something there. So yeah, so we're just like lazy sailors, so it's easy to do it.
There you go. Yeah. Well, and you know, when there's 2 of us and only one of us is competent, it helps.
I think of myself as a little bit competent.
The viewer may decide. But yeah, there's several other folks who left the harbor before us, got their sails out right away, so we figured might have a good chance of having a sail today. So
yeah, well, the forecast was like 10 to 15, 16,
yeah,
and gusting to 20. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and so the GPS we have, the Garmin we have, gives you an estimated time of arrival and plots your you can plot your course on it and everything. So right now it's looking like a 2 o'clock arrival at our little inlet. So that would be really nice.
Yeah, we have 25 miles to go.
Yeah.
We're sailing at 3.5 to 4 knots, which is just one sail. You know, it's like having like one cylinder of your 3-cylinder car running there.
Yeah, and for me, not a born sailor, sorry, there's a trade-off because I like the peace and quiet, but it's also a more rolly action a little bit.
Yeah.
Not always, but right now, obviously, when we slow down, that happens.
Yeah.
So
we have the wind almost behind us. Yeah. So it's a back the beam, as they say. So yeah, you do get a little bit more rolling that way.
Yeah. So yeah, but right now, this is really nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Quiet. It's so different. It's just like it's sublime.
Yeah. Well, it is interesting on a boat like this how much of sailing is running a diesel engine.
Yeah.
Which isn't all that pleasant.
Yeah, I mean, there is a guy who has a website, he has a boat almost exactly like this one, and he's never had an engine. He's sailed around the world. He sails up and down the East Coast and solo sails to Europe. You know, he's always sailing. And he's never had an engine, so you can do it. You know, obviously people do it for hundreds of years, right?
Yeah. So yeah, we are sailing, and we'll check in as anything else happens, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so we've been motoring for a little while after that lovely sail. You might be able to see it's gotten more overcast, a little choppier. I think that's just, Dad says it's because the wind has been coming from the west for a while, so as over the length of the sound, the chop is allowed to increase a little bit. But we're coming up to Mattituck Inlet. The internet says that this is derived from an Algonquin word for Great Creek. I have not been able to confirm or deny that. But I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of how useful charts and the internet are. So this whole part of the North Shore, from Port Jefferson to here, there is no place to anchor and no inlet. Whoa, sorry. It's a little hard to stay balanced here. But if you look along the shore, you know, there's no apparent place to go in. There is a natural creek that is now also an inlet because it's been, you know, dredged and whatnot. So the book says that it can be hard to see from here. So it is over here somewhere. I don't know how you'd know that unless you were told, right? So they tell you to look at this green marker that is directly ahead of us, and then set a course due south from that marker, and then line up with the flashing white light marked M1, and that will bring you to the mouth of the inlet. That mouth is about 7 feet deep. The creek itself says to be about 6. We shouldn't have trouble. If you were in a boat that with a larger draft, you might. But I just want to set the scene here for there is a way into this area, but without that buoy, be hard pressed to find it from out here. So that's a very helpful thing to have. I think it's going to be really cool. It's a really, really protected anchorage because the creek, the inlet, goes in a couple miles from shore. There's also supposed to be a nice little town, so I look forward to checking that out. It's probably hard to see. I mean, it's hard to see how hard it is to see, but it's a good thing there's directions because as yet, I don't see an opening here, do you?
Not yet. You have to have faith.
We do have faith. We have faith at the heart. So it's hard to see right now, but we are coming up on the opening, and Dad's just angling in because it's fairly narrow and not terribly deep, so we want to be sure we're in the right channel. But we did have to go on the chart for a bit, go on faith, as he said. And Dad saw a dolphin, but I have not. So you can now see that red buoy there. We were lining up so that we could keep that to the starboard. And there is a green on the other side that I don't see at the moment, but I saw earlier. So we are on our way in.